Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the laws of KASHRUS of Rabbi enforced, and we're speaking about vessels that are made out of a material that don't require tevilah, but they are covered with a material that does require tevilah. What do we do? Hayotzim mizeh. From our previous discussion, it comes out the following: Kli hamitzupa b'mateches eizechuchis mebifnim. If you have a vessel that's made out of, let's say, for example, wood or pottery, which does not require tevilah, but it is mitzupa, it is covered with metal or zechuchis or glass, which both do require tevilah, mibifnim, from the inside, which means, I guess, on the inside you have a kli. So let's say you have a plate. So on the inside of the plate, it's covered. On the outside of the plate, it's not covered. Says Rafors Chai b'tevilah, it requires to be immersed in the mikvah. But if the only covering of the metal or the glass is on the outside, for example, on the bottom of the plate, which the food never really touches and is not serving the food, so then it would not require tevilah. So that goes back to what we said yesterday. If the area that's covered with the metal or the glass or any material that requires tevilah is being used to support the food, and the food is touching it, then it would be required tevilah. There are those that say there are those that say that if the kli was only covered from the inside, even in that case, you would not make a bracha on the tevilah because the entire kli is not, the entire vessel is not covered in the material that requires tevilah. If you have, for example, this pottery plate and it's covered with metal on the top and the bottom, then you would be toivel it, you would immerse it with a bracha. And it doesn't matter whether it's a thick covering or a thin covering, whether you could use the plate before it was sealed or after it was sealed. Everybody will agree that once that it is sealed on all sides, from the inside and the outside, it certainly requires a bracha you to toivel, to immerse it, and to make a bracha on it. And it would seem to me that the minhag is that if it's only covered on the inside and not on the outside, we would be toivel, but without a bracha. Lefikach, therefore, kli cheres hamatzuba bezechuchis chai b'tevilah. If you have pottery that requires tevilah, and it's covered with glass, you have to bring it to the mikveh. V'chein kli charsina, so too porcelain. She kli cheres hamatzuba bezechuchis, which really is the same thing. It is pottery, earthenware that is covered with glass. Chayav b'tevilah, a person would have to bring it to the mikveh and be toivel it. However, since there are those that would say in that case it's exempt from the mitzvah of tevilah of immersion, a person should be toivel without a bracha. So this should be similar to what we have, like bone china, your china plates, which are very often covered all around with zechuchis, with some kind of a glass covering. So those would have to go to the mikveh. And if you have porcelain and it's covered with glass or it's covered with metal, so you would end up being toivel. And he's saying over here that it would seem to be that the tevilah would be without a bracha. Actually, in this particular case, if it's cheres, if it's earthenware covered in glass, it would require tevilah, but without a bracha. And the previous case that we saw before was that if you have a vessel that's covered with metal which is a chiv deraisa to toivel in the mikvah, over there, then you would, if it was on the top and the bottom, from the inside and the outside, you would be toivel in that case, and that would be with a blessing. Have a blessed day.